Good day, folks. My name is Brian Gunderson. I'm the creator of this YouTube channel I call Geomagnetic Earthwatch. You can also find me on Facebook under the same name, as well as Telegram, which I use as a backup platform, same name. I'm a Canadian citizen living in the province of British Columbia, Canada. This is a remake of my introduction video. I'm going to start off with telling you a little bit about myself. I'm a private independent researcher, and I began my studies 6 years ago, beginning with the grand solar minimum 400-year cycle of our sun. But this changed into the 12,000-year geomagnetic cycle of our planet, the geomagnetic excursion, which results in the destabilization and weakening of our protective magnetosphere and its effects on this planet and its inhabitants, which is far more important, but we can't leave out grand solar minimum because the timeline of each is coming together. We're going to get a double whammy. The geomagnetic excursion is when our geomagnetic poles, not our geophysical or geomagnetic poles, begin to leave their relatively stable position. And this started in the year 1859 from something called the Carrington event, which was an X-45 class flare emitted from the sun, and when it hit the earth it gave magnetic north a swift kick in the butt and started its movement. It really started a straight line of excursion from Nunavut, Canada in 1903. It's already crossed over geographical north and is heading into Siberia. Magnetic south has already left Antarctica and is in the waters between Antarctica and Australia. So currently they're on an excursion. And that is explained in more detail in my videos. Now, as for most YouTubers, most of us, we have no accredited standing with a wall all full of university degrees. We are independent researchers. However, we're not constrained by university guidelines and curriculums steered one way or another politically, funded by the elite to fit their own narrative distractions. It doesn't mean we're not capable of learning and finding out what's going on using our critical thinking, and some of us with some aged wisdom and maturity. And some other guidance. Now, my awakening was first spiritual, but that which I sought the scientific explanation of what's happening and aligning my observations and findings to that which is written in scriptures and how everything is just coming together right now. Those who are awake know what I'm talking about. So while others are leaving him in the back seat, I keep him forefront, which is why sometimes my discussions videos are spiritual, not just the science of what's going on. The science of what's going on is part of my morning, afternoon, and nightly observations every single day for the past 6 years, every day. Because I recognize the implications of what's happening to our planet, as well as the beginning of sorrows, not just the earth pains, the beginning of sorrows. And that's what keeps me and one other person apart from all the rest. So I'm not going to be going into such things as galactic current sheets and micronovas and supernovas and what someone thinks might happen 20 to 25 years away. People, we're down here right now on our planet. We need to know what's going on our planet, below our feet and relatively above our heads, no further than our sun. And he's told us what to look out for. He has his own playlist, okay? We need to pay attention now. Signs and symptoms, earth pains, in diverse places. So I'm not here for what's going to happen 20, 25 years away from now. And if that's your only focus, you're living out everything that's going to happen until that point, and you're not going to get that far. You're not prepared. I'm looking for those signs prior to an earth disaster cycle. The signs leading up to it, and they've already started. No one else is covering them. And I also align my findings at the beginning of sorrows. So I bring the science of the earth changes and the signs to scriptures leading up to the 66th book. And I want to step back to about credentials. And let me tell you something. He's the final judge. And he doesn't need a wall full of university certificates. He does have his own playlist list, and he's laid it out through Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark, Isaiah, John, all the rest. It's all laid out. So I'm not going to show you fancy graphics. I'm going to give you content. That's what counts. I'm not going to give you exaggerated headlines for viewership counts and likes. I'm not going to give you fear porn. I'm not going to spend half my video begging for money and insulting those who don't give me money. I'm going to give you my observations and findings, my summation, my wisdom, maturity. I'm not going to charge you for it. So I'm also not here for the master class. You know what? He's down the hall. I'm here for the rest of you. And together we're going to continue to grow and expand our global family. And through that we acquire friendships, as many will attest throughout the years. As I am approachable, and I will answer the questions as I have the time to answer the questions, and I'm not going to charge you for it. That's not what a decent person does for humanity. And through that, friendships develop all over the world, and I appreciate that. Now, we can assume that the governments and the elite know full well what's going on. We can assume that they found out in December 1958 when they found out there was a record-breaking 855 sunspots in our sun, and the sun did something to our moon, and hence the great race to get to the moon. 3 months later, they formed NASA. We got to get up there quick, and they found something. It's when it all started. We're living in a movie, folks, and they got to keep us dumbed down and suppressed just like in the movie. With all these orchestrated distractions that's going on right now, and all the restrictions and control procedures that's going to be coming up. Now, to say that humanity has been through this many a times before and we come out is bullshit. Right now, the current humanity, all 8 billion of us, most of us are dependent on technology and the grid, the electrical grid. We can't survive without it. People, we weren't here the last time 42,000 years ago. Our cousins, the Neanderthals, were here. And most of them didn't make it. We weren't here several times ago. Now, I'm going to be covering things as the earthquakes, but I'm going to be doing more than anyone else does. I'm going to explain the earthquakes. I'm going to explain what's happening below the crust. I'm going to cover volcanism, but also the heat anomalies coming up through the crust. Space weather, cosmic rays, the effects of the human brain, but I'm also going to veer off course and do things such as being more self-sufficient, growing your own food. And eventually in time, I'll start developing my own format for Q&As. And when you have questions, I'll answer them, and I'm not going to charge you for it. So, let's be kind and courteous to one another. Let's respect each other's beliefs. That's all I ask. And I'll end by saying, buckle up, real tight, folks. If you pray, pray like hell. And hold on tight, because we got one hell of a ride ahead of us. See you soon.